Hello, hi everyone. This is Keshinraki Mayola, home of the living God. Today we are going to, talk about a very important topic, which people have been asking, and a lot of people have been asking how the Sabbath, was changed, and only the Seventh-day Adventists stood the ground, and they keep worshiping on Saturday, and they didn't change from the true Sabbath. How did the event went? And most of the people don't know that the Sabbath day was on Saturday. A lot, think it's on Sunday. Most of people don't know. But today we are going to dive into this topic, how the Sabbath was changed. This is the first episode, of its kind. So today I want to answer the question which so many listeners have been, concerned about since, our first broadcast on the Sabbath question. So how did the change take place? Substituting Sunday for Saturday as the day of worship. This is possibly one of the most disturbing religious questions among thinking Christians today. Unfortunately, the issue is not examined publicly very often for reasons that we will consider today. But multitudes have wondered when, how, and why the change came about. We have established in previous broadcasts, in a lot of the videos that we have done, and a lot of videos that we have been seeing and watching from other presenters, and with absolute consistency on this subject. No change documented in the Bible. In both Old and New Testament, there is not a shadow of variation in the doctrine of the Sabbath. The 7 days, Saturday is the only day ever designated by the term Sabbath. In the entire Bible, not only was Jesus a perfect example in observing the weekly 7-day Sabbath, but all his disciples followed the same pattern after Jesus had gone back to heaven. Yet, no intimation of any change of the day is made. The Apostle Paul, who wrote pages of counsel about lesser issues of Jewish and Gentiles conflict, had not one word to say about in any controversy over the day of worship. Circumcision, foods offered to idols, and other Jewish customs were readily challenged by early Gentile Christians in the church. But the weightier matter of weekly worship never was an issue. Why? For the simple reason that no change was made from the historic seventh day of Old Testament times and from creation itself. Had there been a switch from the Sabbath to the first day of the week, you can be sure the controversy would have been more explosive than any other to those Jewish Christians. The history gives some clues if the change did not take place in the scripture or through the influence of the apostles. When and how did this happen? In order to understand this, we must understand what happened in the early church soon after the apostles passed off the stage of action. Paul had prophesied that apostasy would take place soon after his departure. He said there will be a falling away from the truth. One doesn't have to read very far in early church history to see just how that prophecy was fulfilled. Gnosticism began to rise up under the influence of philosophers who sought to reconcile Christianity with paganism. At the same time, a strong anti-Jewish sentiment became more widespread. Very speculative interpretations began to appear regarding some of the great doctrines of Christ and the apostles. By the time Constantine was established as the emperor of Rome in the early 4th century, there was a decided division in the church as a result of all these factors. I think most of you know that Constantine was the first so-called Christian emperor of the Roman Empire. The story of his conversion has become very well known to students of ancient history. He was marching forth to fight the battle of Milvian Bridge when he had some kind of vision and saw a flaming cross in the sky. Underneath the cross were the Latin words meaning, "In this sign conquer." Constantine took this as an omen that he should be a Christian, and his army as well. He declared all his pagan soldiers to be Christians and became very zealous to build up the power and prestige of the church. Through his influence, great blocks of pagans were taken into Christian ranks. But friends, they were still pagan at heart, and they brought in much of the paraphernalia of sun worship to which they continue to be devoted. Very soon we will mention how the adoption of Christmas and Easter takes place. At the same time, many other customs were Christianized and appropriated into the practice of the church as well. So in the next episode, we will talk about the sun worship. The sun worship. So this is where we are going to stop today. See you next time. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell for more videos. Thank you very much. Maranatha.